Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd come on camera and share with you my latest frame design that I've been working on. So I started designing frames a couple of years ago, and the first frame that I decided to release for sale was the Archon. I'll overlay a couple of pictures here to show you what I'm talking about. Now back then everyone was running 28mm wide cameras, separate ESCs, 4-in-1s were only really just coming about and being worth using, but not many people were using them, so it was all about the wide arms and nice wide body so that you could fit the camera in and all these massive components that we had. But since then components have changed a lot, everything's got a lot smaller. 4-in-1s are far more capable. If anything, they're more capable than the separates now. There's a lot more choice with 4-in-1s to go 6S, for instance. So all my 6S rigs are running 4-in-1s. And when you run 4-in-1s, the arms can be a lot skinnier. They don't have to be as wide to run those separate ESCs. So I needed to make a few changes to the Archon, bring it up to date, and I wanted to offer a couple of options for people who are running 4-in-1 ESCs or separate ESCs. So there's going to be a wide arm version and a skinny arm version. Right here I have a wide arm version. This is my final sample. I've just sent the files off today, my final files for approval, ready to order the first batch. I thought I'd show you this before I built it up. This is the Archon V2 with wide arms. See, I've got nice wide arms on there, so I'm going to be running separate ESCs to these awesome new iFlight Zing 2207 motors. Check out those bad boys. Oh yes. The main changes against the V1 is the camera pod. This is now running a 19mm wide camera, so all the micro cams fit in there. I've designed it so that it doesn't matter what type of lens you run or what body you run. All the long ones and the nice wide lenses, they all fit inside here using this TPU mount system here. So there's 3 different holes there. So the other feature that I wanted to keep was the claws on the end of the arms. You'll see here, if I can get my camera to focus, that on the end of the arm there is a claw with a hole in it. Now the idea there was that when you hit the wall or hit a hard object, rather than it completely destroying the end of the arm and messing up all the carbon around the bolts and you having to replace the arm, just the arm end would snap off and then you could go a little while without having to replace it. I really like that, it seems to work really well, so I've kept that feature in there. Another little feature is that now on the top plate, these slots here, you can get a strap through there, so the strap doesn't move backwards and forwards, it holds it nicely in place. Keeping the deck 20mm high, keeping in line with the original Archon, although it's going on these extra press nuts under the standoffs there, so it's actually 22mm high, so you've got a couple of extra millimeters there for room. Plenty of room in the back there for mounting VTX, Unify Pro, whatever you want. So there are mounting holes here for 20x20, and there's a 30.5mm gap mounting holes there, M3. That's so you can fit a Maytech VTX sideways on. That's quite a nice little feature, and there's also 30.5mm spacing here, so you can also mount your VTX going that way. And then these little slots here, obviously for your cable tie, for securing like a Unify Pro or whatever in there. The other feature, while I've got it focused like this, you'll notice that the arms have changed. Now, if you haven't seen my Nemesis frame already, you might not have seen this sort of style arm before, but yeah, with these arms, your arm comes in here and then it splits like that, and they all join up across here and across here. The reason why I did that is because if you have them all joining right in the center, there's a hell of a lot of carbon that you have to there, and it's really heavy, and you're only really getting a little bit of contact across like right in the middle of the frame, whereas by splitting these I've been able to space it out, and yeah, it's just a lot stronger. And yeah, the Nemesis arms, they're really difficult to break, so I wanted to keep that. I wanted to put that into the Archon frame, and with these nice wide arms, this is going to be seriously tough, and it's proving to be. They're really hard to break, these arms. If you break them, then yeah, you're doing well, you're flying hard, and keep up the good work. Other than that, there's not a lot more really to show you. The motor spacing is exactly the same as the original Archon, so there's still nice gap between the propeller and the frame. So if you run big fat battery like I do, my 6S batteries actually overhang the frame a little bit, so I need the extra space for the prop so it doesn't cut my battery. Wanted to keep it in line with the original, but just bring it up to date in terms of components. So that's the wide arm version there, and I'll show you here. I have my fully built 6S Archon D2 with the skinny arms. So now I've got the skinny arms on this one. They're only 10mm wide, but they are 5mm thick. They are super tough. Really hard to, they're easier to break than the wide ones, but they're still nice and durable. And when you're running a 4-in-1 ESC, I mean, you want the skinny arm so you get that extra airflow. It just responds so well in the air. And I could show you here now. I've got a new way of mounting the GoPro. It actually, instead of bolting down TPU on top of carbon fiber, it actually wraps it around the standoff there. So that just seems to work a hell of a lot better. These bolts never come loose. You can tighten them right down onto the standoff, which is obviously important because I'm using that standoff to hold the camera mount in place. And then right at the front there, the TPU just wraps around that top standoff, and it's really on there. You got a little tiny bit of movement, but only when you force it. So when you're flying around, it doesn't cause you ain't got loads of jello or anything. If anything, it's kind of anti-jello, if you want to call it that. But no, I still got the props out of view. That was important to me. There's nothing wrong with having props in view, but the Archon always kept them out of view, so I wanted to keep that. Yeah, everything's positive. Everything that anybody ever told me that they didn't like about it has been looked at. Every single line has been adjusted. I've added features and things that brings it all up to date, runs all the latest equipment. It's got plenty of room in it. The only limitation is the size of the camera, and when pretty much all the cameras these days are coming out in the micro form factor, I don't see that as an issue really. So yeah, here's a bit of flight footage of me rocking the 6S skinny arm, and yeah, hope you like it. I'll check in with you again soon. Take care.
Come and put your name on it.